The broadcast is started, and soon we shall be live. And there we go. We're live. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay! Andy.
Well, I'm Christiana Ellis, the Dungeon Master, and we have once again our current full house of players tonight. We have Jenny Meltzer as Zaylene,
Hey guys.
Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn,
Good evening.
Starla Hutchton as Carolina, aka Lynn, aka Glink, aka lots of things,
Hello, friends.
Mark Guilfoyle, aka Nedry,
I wonder if I can build a closet of many things.
and last but not least, Chooch as Sequential.
Hello, hello.
We are once again back in our main continuity. Last week we had a little bit of an excursion with Nedry and Zinhorn, which we established as taking place in the recent but not precisely specified past. But now we will pick back up with the main party already in progress. And I think we're going to briefly retcon that Carolina had rejoined you all prior to this point. So I'll just cover the backstory for this time. Basically, what happened last time is that you went on a shopping expedition to Sticky Zicky's Adventuring Emporium, and you bought various bits of adventuring gear, and certainly, put a couple of things on your future wish list, and also then began your search for this mysterious cache of treasure that this creature you have prisoner told you about, which is currently, unfortunately for you, buried underneath the railroad tracks at essentially the biggest train station in the city. And so after doing some initial investigating, you are pretty confident that you know where it is, and it's just getting to it that's the problem. And after poking around the train station for a little bit and exploring, you discovered that there are in fact sewer tunnels that run underneath where that track is, and so perhaps you can reach it from below instead of from above. And so you made your way to a sewer entrance in the general vicinity you were looking for. And I think it makes the most sense that Lynn, who had run off on errands of her own, will rejoin you at this point, even though, we didn't mention it last time that she showed up suddenly, but that's what happened. But then as you delved into the sewers, using basic orienteering skills to give you a general direction of where you're trying to go, you pressed past a barricade which said, "Danger, keep out." You passed by a storage room which seems likely to be used by kobolds that you've been told sell produce out of these sewer tunnels sometimes. But you haven't seen any of them yet. Instead, what you found is a big cavern with a big monster in it. And so, as discussed at the end of the last episode, we're going to begin right now by rolling initiative.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be necessary at all, but we do hand Carolina a health potion that we bought at Sticky Zicky's for
Oh,
her.
yes.
And we have a bundle of studded leather armor for her buddy.
Yes. Uh, Glink sized.
Link size studded leather.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
All right. Initiative.
I'm not seeing the thingy.
Well, I haven't put the tracker on, but
Oh,
you
okay.
can roll the die without it being
Yeah.
up on
Ooh.
screen. And somewhat unfortunately for you, perhaps, the Otiug, which is the name of this creature, rolled a natural 20 on his initiative.
Oh dear. I don't
Um,
know why I rolled twice. I was only
Of
supposed to roll
course it
once.
okay, so let's see. Put the folks that are not already on there on the tracker. Although, as I have previously established with some folks, it's not technically needed. You guys should be able to do it from your end, but it's fine. Oh wow! But like 2 of you managed to get over 20 with your initiative rolls
Wow.
anyway. Who has the higher dexterity, Nedry or Zaleen?
Mine is +2.
Okay.
Same here.
All right. Well, roll off then. Each of you roll one more d20 and see who's higher.
I would just put 20 in there. Oh.
No, it didn't send it through. It was a 16.
Okay.
Oh, it showed up.
Oh, did it? Huh,
Yep.
Didn't show up for me yet.
Well, it depends on
Oh,
where you're
mine's
looking.
15.
It's in the Roll20 log versus the D&D Beyond log.
Oh, okay.
It showed up on my D&D Beyond. But yeah, I rolled a 15.
Okay, so Nedry is first then. Okay, Zinhorn, did we get your initiative? You know, can put it in the tracker?
I did. It doesn't seem to be. There it goes.
Oh,
That should
yeah,
do
there
it.
we go. All right. So, to reiterate from last time, what happened is that you were exploring through these tunnels, going in the approximate direction that you intended to go, and then encountered, as the cavern opened up, that there was a strange creature there, large, seems to have a large toothy maw and 3 weird tentacles emerging from its back. And as you approached, it began trundling over in your direction, and that is why we're rolling initiative. So, with that in mind, Nedry, you are first. What are you going to do?
Oh, that doesn't look safe. Safety first. And I will cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
I will slap the Protective Verses. And as I remember from the previous battle with a large thing, Zinhorn might be a little vulnerable. So I will give him 12 temporary hit points.
Very nice. Okay, and then are you going to move or do anything?
Thank you.
Anything?
Yes, I'm going to. Excuse me, coming through. There you go.
All right. So, Zaleen, you're next.
Are we behind, like, was that rocks that were sort of behind there?
Yes, but I mean, like, it's open right there.
Mhm.
So, like, these are
Yep.
like pillars. They're. It's not like you can't see over it. It's floor to ceiling.
Okay. So I'm gonna lean out and I'm gonna fire off an Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll. Uh, 20 does hit.
Okay.
All right.
Do I do that twice? If it's
Well, so you guys are level 5, so I believe it is twice.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, that looks like just the damage twice. So you actually have to roll the
Oh,
attack.
okay,
second time,
yep.
too.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's been a minute.
Sure. A 10, unfortunately, seems to just be absorbed by its thick rubbery hide.
Okay.
All right. So it is now its turn.
Actually, can I
Oh,
do my bonus action real
Oh,
quick?
yes. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna hold up the staff of the adder and be all like, "Hi, son, man," and it's the snake's gonna come alive.
Aha. Very nice. Okay, are you staying right where you are, or are you moving?
I'll duck back behind the pillar.
Okay. All right. So, as let's see, as you guys are watching there, it had already been kind of handling, in your direction. Um, but now that you zapped it once, it seems to have redoubled its efforts, and it's charging over towards you. Boom, 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 boom. And it actually has to squeeze a little bit through here, like it's having a hard time. Like it has to slow down to get through this opening, but it is pushing through, and so it is going to try to bite um, Zinhorn, who's just right there. You know what? I should have. Here, let me see if I can get this set up properly. I'm sorry. I have a quicker way to do it than I was going to do it, and I don't know why I didn't set it up that way to begin with, but I'll have it ready shortly. Then I can do quick rolls. Okay. Okay, so the bite attack is a 16 to hit. Does that hit you with all your armor on?
It does not.
Aha. So it tries to take a bite out of you, but it just crunches its teeth on your armor. And it actually, I think, as you're looking at it here, as it's up close now, you see that two of its tentacles are symmetrical and are just have all these toothy barbs on the end of them. But the one on the center of its back, that's where its eyes are. It's a tentacle that peers up over the top of its head, which has no eyes, but the tentacle has 3 eyes on the face of it. And as it is in your face and attacking, all of you kind of hear in your heads, food, prey. But you hear that in your minds. And also, it's going to attack you with tentacles too. I think Zaylene's getting one of those, and Zinhorn's getting one of those. So that's a dirty 20 to hit for Zaylene. And you take 10 bludgeoning damage from the impact, plus 7 piercing damage from the little teeth on it. And then also you are now grappled by it. It has grabbed you with the end of this tentacle. And then
You don't even get to make a save to be grappled?
you have to make a save to break out of it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Zinhorn, the other tentacle, goes to grab at you and gets only a 13. So I think you have a shield, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, I think you probably bat it away with your shield. But that is its turn. So, Carolina, you are up.
Okay, so if I use this opportunity to place the force nodule, like on my armor, like does that count as my action?
I'll say it's a bonus action.
Okay, so I wanna slap that on, and then also cast Mind Sliver.
Okay. It makes an intelligence saving throw, I think.
Yes.
That's not what it's good at. It gets a 3.
No. Let's see. That's 4 damage, and
I believe you like roll a d4 or something, and it.
Yeah, it must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from
It's
let's see.
From its next attack.
The first time it makes a saving throw before the end of your next turn, it
right.
must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the save.
Okay. All right. So,
Yes.
that would make it now. Or are you done with your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Nedry.
Okay.
Go there.
All right.
That's it.
As you go to move away, it whips out with one of its tentacles, which has a 10-foot reach, and is going to make an opportunity attack against you. And it gets a 23 to hit. And I believe that hits you. Yeah. And so that's going to do 6 bludgeoning damage and 3 piercing damage, and you are also grappled. So you are not able to move. As it's got currently Zaleen and Carolina grabbed with its big spiky tendrils. All right. Sequential, you're up.
All right, for my action, I'm going to create the tiny little Eldritch Cannon, which is going to mount on my shoulder, so it's not the movable one. And in the form of the Force Ballista, and I'm going to move
This little blue dot to indicate that.
up here. And bonus action, have the Force Ballista blast it.
All right.
Which I forgot doesn't have a. I remember last time having a difficult time figuring out how to roll it automatically, without setting up a manual thing. Where are my specs? Okay, so it's a +3.
Okay.
Oh, actually, a question. So with the new shield that I have that analyzes, it says that it gives. I can use a reaction to have an attack. Use my intelligence modifier.
I think what you
It
do
says
is
attack, but
I think okay. I think what it says is that you add your intelligence modifier to. Does it say to attack?
to attack. It says to attacks and damage.
Yeah.
So I guess the question was, if a ranged spell attack or if it was melee only. It didn't specify.
Oh no! It's either, but it's only if you use your reaction.
Cool.
All right, that looks like it's just a bare d20.
Yeah, so that's +3, 16.
Okay, 16 does hit.
To hit. And it is 2d6 force damage. So 6 points of force damage.
Okay.
And it says it pushes a creature 5 feet away.
Okay.
And it doesn't give a size specification.
Well, in that case, it does, but it also drags Celine and Carolina with it.
Oh, yeah. Oops. I was open to fill that gap.
Well, I suppose we could do that. That works. I'll allow that.
Cool.
That's
it.
Great. Zinhorn, your turn.
Okie dokie. I am going to cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
It has a saving throw dex
Yeah. So
with a target of 13, and it's got to roll the 1d4 and subtract it.
All right. Well, it only rolled a 7 to begin with, but the 1d4 would probably let's see, have a 1d4 handy. Yeah. So it would have been a 6 instead. All right. 11.
It takes 11 points of damage, and I am going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon at 3rd level.
Okay. I believe I had made a little thing for that. Yeah, where's that hammer that I made for you?
And I'm going to drop the hammer in behind it.
There we go.
Yep, right there.
All right. Okay. Anything else on your turn?
Well, I have to roll to hit with the spiritual weapon.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I got a 10.
Okay. 10 does not hit. Bounces off of its thick hide.
All right, that's it for me.
Okay. Nedry, you are up again.
Okay. Pop back a little bit from the corner so I can see. Into its mind, I want to say, not food, not food. And then follow it up with punctuation called mind sliver.
Okay. Once again, it's going to roll its intelligence saving throw. Gets a 4.
Okay. Oops, I rolled it twice. The first one's right.
Okay.
6 psychic damage.
All right.
And once again, it'll have a d4 from its next saving throw.
Right. Right.
And then run back down that way.
Okay. All right. That is Nedry. So, Zaleen, you are currently grappled by this thing's big tentacle. You can use your action to try to break the grapple, or do something else if you like.
I'm going to use my bonus action to cast my Hexblade's Curse.
Okay.
So it's now cursed for 1 minute.
Okay.
I gain +3 bonus to damage rolls, and I score crits on 19s or 20s.
To clarify, you are actually restrained, not just grappled.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's
now
Hexblade's Curse.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my action, I am going to smack it with my Staff of the Adder.
Okay, so you would have disadvantage on your attack roll from being restrained. And then on top of that, whatever your Hexblade's Curse does.
It doesn't. Right. Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, whatever it would have been, you have to make a melee attack with the staff to hit it with the snake head.
Oh, why did it do that?
Oh.
I clicked on it to roll the dice, and it just put the thing up.
Okay. Yeah. I
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
Hang on. All right. I'm just gonna roll the d20 twice.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was a 16.
Okay. A 16 to hit with disadvantage.
No, I have to roll it twice.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other one was a 15, so that was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that does still hit.
Okay. That is
1d6 piercing.
right.
And then it makes a Constitution saving throw. It's a little bit better at those than intelligence. Yeah, it gets a dirty
Wow,
20.
it's like glitched. It's not rolling the dice.
Okay, I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. Please just figure it out. I'm sorry.
just telling you that when
I
I,
know,
rolled it, that's what
okay.
happened.
Yes, I understand. That's 100% okay. Please just use the little manual dice roller if you need to.
I didn't know. I just clicked back over to see what it was. That's all.
Okay.
So that's 5 + 3, so 8.
Okay.
And then it has to make the.
It succeeded on the save. It got a dirty 20.
Did it have to take a minus the 1d4, or did it already use that? Because Nedry cast Mind Sliver.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. But I mean, what's your DC?
15.
Yeah. So like, even if it rolls 4, which I can do. But so thank you for the reminder, but the D4 wouldn't have been enough to make it fail in this particular case. But it still takes the piercing damage, which it was 8, you said.
Yep.
All right. Okay. But you are still restrained by this thing. And it is its turn now. And it hoists up Zaleen and Carolina in its tentacles. and it slams them together.
Oh,
Ouch.
Yes. So I need both of you to make Constitution saving throws. Okay.
3.
21.
So Zaylene, you are going to take 5 bludgeoning damage. Carolina, you take 10 bludgeoning damage, and you are stunned until the end of the Audiog's next turn.
Great.
It's also sequential, going to try to bite you,
cool.
but it only gets a 7.
All right.
Yeah. All right. That is its turn. At this point, though, before it would be Carolina's turn, but she's stunned anyway. But before that happens, all of a sudden, a kobold runs into the cave, looking concerned and then startled, and then he says, "Wait! Stop!" And that is all he has time to do right now. Carolina, you are currently stunned. Sequential, your turn.
All right. I am going to I think I'm gonna go ahead and fling a chaos bolt.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Let's
Normal
see the attack roll.
roll.
All right.
18 to hit. Yay.
It does hit, and it does 11
It's 11 points.
fire damage. That's what it says. Is that right?
Yeah, it defaulted to fire. I didn't say I'll stick with fire. Why not? See how it directs to fire.
I think with Chaos Bolt, you don't get to pick. You have to roll for it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's part of the damage part. That's right. The 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
So does it cipher? It looks like it was 3 and 3. So yeah.
Yeah. So the fire damage is just as effective as you would hope. So that's 11 total damage to it.
Oh, and the chaos part, since they were both 3s, it would chain to another creature, but there's no other creature to chain to.
Yeah.
So.
It would have to be another creature within a certain range.
Yeah. Like it's like 5 or 10 feet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So.
Oh no, I'm sorry, 30 feet.
Okay. Just in range. It changed to the kobold.
Oh, poor little guy.
So is it the same amount of damage, or?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see if chains make a new attack roll against the new target.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which, 13, and then I think it's like a +6.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna hit.
18.
And that kobold goes down. Chaos bolt!
You sounded friendly.
So much for those vegetables.
All right.
And then the bonus action Force Ballista will hit him again.
Okay.
And that roll is to hit is only a 9 to hit.
Yeah, that'll miss. All right. As that is Sequential's turn, Zinhorn. We don't hear you.
Yep.
Okay,
Now you can hear me. Okay. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Carolina.
Okay. So she's currently being held aloft by this tentacle thing, but you can kind of like jump up and sort of zap her with it.
Give a flap of the wings, reach up and hit her. So that'll give her back 12 points.
All right.
And with my spiritual weapon, I heard someone say, wait, stop. So I'm going to hold an action with my bonus action if I can do that.
Yeah, okay. But for what? What's the
Oh,
trigger?
to hit the spiritual weapon, to hit the big
Okay,
monster.
but what's the trigger? What would make you do it?
If it continues to attack,
Okay. Well, guess what? It's gonna.
it's gonna.
I
All
mean,
right. Well, in that
I
case, I might as
mean,
well
I'm just
roll it now.
saying, like right now, the person who maybe could have called it off is unconscious.
But I can't actually see that person.
I'm not. I'm just telling you what's happening. I'm not
All
making a
right.
moral judgment on you. I'm telling you what the facts on the ground are.
All right. I rolled an 18.
All right, that hits.
And I got 4 points of damage.
All right. There we go. Okay. You guys are doing some damage on this thing. It's still pretty tough, but you're making a dent in it, so to speak. All right, Nedry, we're back up to you. I think you saw the fire from the Chaos Bolt zip by, and here. Boom.
Well, I'm gonna wander off in that direction and see what I can see.
All right.
I can get to about there, so I can see hopefully everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this Cobalt is down.
Yeah. Unconscious.
Well, I'm going to use my action then to run over to it,
Okay.
to them.
Hey.
Hey.
Dash.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's about it. I walk over, see what this Cobalt looks like, and
He is not armed. He is badly burned and doesn't seem to be breathing.
okay.
All right. Zaleen, you are still currently restrained by the tentacle.
I'm going to use my action to try to break out of it.
Okay. Go ahead and make acrobatics or athletics, but at disadvantage because you're restrained.
All right. I should have rolled it twice.
Oh, there you go. That's still pretty good. So that's a 15. So you are able to wrestle yourself free from its grip, and you drop to the ground.
And yeah, that's all I can do.
Okay. All right, that is your turn. It is its turn now. It's going to try again to bite you, Sequential.
Mm-hmm.
It got another 7, which is a natural 1 for it. So, yeah, that's just not working. I think it's actually maybe having a little trouble because it's trying to squeeze through this narrow opening in the cave, and I think it's throwing it off when it tries to reach for you. But it's also going to, let's see, I think it's going to use its other tentacle that's now open to now try to grab you, Sequential, because it's
cool.
The bite's not working. So, okay, gets a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Yeah, so it's going to do 11 bludgeoning and 2 piercing, and you are now grappled and restrained by the tentacle. And then it's going to. No, I think the tentacle slam needs to be. Yeah, that's a whole action. So, let's see. Yeah. So it can't. It can't make another tentacle attack while it's still holding Carolina. So that's the end of its turn now. So at the end of its turn, you are now no longer stunned, Carolina.
All right, so I finally get to do something. Okay.
Well, yes. Although first, I'm going to roll a d20.
Oh, yay.
It's a 2. So it's your turn, Carolina. You are still. You like sort of shake off the daze, but you are still held aloft and restrained by this thing.
Okay. Well, I am going to. I don't like this thing, so I am going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
Wait, that's not what it was supposed to do. It is a Wisdom saving throw of 15.
Okay. wisdom saving throw. Gets a 2.
All right. So it will take 12 psychic damage and must immediately use its action to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Yeah, so I think that even though it does this, the ability doesn't specify that it would drop anything it's holding, it makes no sense that it would drag you along with it if it's literally trying to run away from you. So I think it does drop you, but not sequential. It immediately moves on its turn, or right away.
It says, and must immediately use its reaction if available to
Right.
move as far as its speed allows.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it
Was really hoping
but
that
it's-
would drop the
but it's-
grapple.
Yeah. And it did for you, but not for
Right.
sequential.
Giddy up!
Yeah. So it roars, and you hear in your head, "Oh, scary!" And it runs away, taking sequential with it.
All right. Bonus action. I will call after sequential as he's being dragged away. Through hope and fear, we have beat back the darkness. A legion of heroes of legend are we. And so now he has inspiration.
All right, great. Okay. That makes it your turn, sequential.
All right. I feel inspired and will try to break this grapple.
Okay, so you're making acrobatics or athletics, but at disadvantage.
Acrobatics. Ooh, 20.
Is that with disadvantage?
Oh, I'm sorry. Duh. Literally just said it.
Because it's got its tentacle like wrapped
Right.
around you. So
11 and
yeah,
oh wait.
11 is not enough, unfortunately.
Oh, I can use the
1d8.
art
Oh yeah,
1d8,
that's
right?
true. You absolutely
Yeah.
can. Mhm.
And we roll that one to add on another whole one. So
Oh no!
that's
You
12.
you needed 13. So the D8
close.
could have come up with anything from 2 up, and it would have been fine. But
Oh,
just
no.
1. Yeah. Okay, so unfortunately, even though you feel slightly buoyed by Carolina's inspiration, it is not quite enough. You, maybe just a little bit of the lingering, like Carolina just made it drag me further away from everybody. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so you still have like a bonus action.
Yeah, so the bonus action is I'll use my reaction to use the shield to help out my little ballista, which would be 8 plus 3 plus 3.
Okay, so
So 14 to hit.
14 just hits.
Ooh. Yay. And then that little force ballista does. Whoops. Click the right thing. Here we go. 2d6 plus 3.
All right.
So 11 points of force damage. We'll
All right.
push it another 5 feet back.
Yeah. And then,
Uh,
you know what? How about this? I think because you've got something that's pushing it away from you while it's holding you, I'll let you make another saving throw to try to, another check to try to break the
oh, nice.
grapple.
Rolls 12. 12.
Unfortunately, 12 is once again
Right.
just one shy of what
do you-
you need.
Just shy.
Do you still get the 1d8 from the inspiration?
be-
No,
No,
that's
it's only once.
Yeah,
It's
that's
only
already-
once.
Yeah.
All
I already
right.
used it.
Uh,
Thank you, though.
Alas. But this thing's starting to look fairly hurt. Okay. Zinhorn.
I'm going to move my spiritual weapon 20 feet closer to the big bad.
All right. That's just far enough to get to it.
Yep. And I'm going to move myself 30 feet up here so I can see the kobold now.
Yeah.
And I want to do a prayer of healing on it.
Prayer of Healing takes 10 minutes to cast.
Oh,
Yeah.
crud.
That's an out of combat spell.
Yep. I have Healing Word.
Healing Word
That's
will do
good.
it. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to cast Healing Word. It gets 6 hit points back.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. It blinks and coughs and gasps. But it's not its turn yet. But you
Oh,
have
okay.
you have saved the life of this little kobold.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do my spiritual weapon attack because it's still holding choose.
Mm-hmm. Or sequential.
Sequential. 15.
15 does hit.
Okay. 9 points of damage.
All right. Okay. Good job. All right, Nedry, you're up.
Okay, Nedry's kind of moved up close to the thing. He's like, how does that go again? You have to press here and then hold on to them. Oh! And just about ready to try to do medicine, but it didn't really work all that well.
Mm-hmm.
Reached back into his pack to pull something out. Oh, you're awake. Hi. Is that yours? Pretty much the only thing he's going to do, actually.
Okay. All right. Zaleen.
I am going to come out. I'm going to move forward 15 feet. And I'm going to see the kobold who had told us to wait. And I'm actually going to hold my action. I'm going to hold an Eldritch Blast. And if the thing does not listen to him and starts attacking again, I will unleash it.
Okay. All right. I mean, it is its turn now, though, right? So, like, it gets to go before he does. So, are you going to attack when it attacks? Or are you going to wait to see if it listens to him when he tries to give it to a command? Because it's its turn before his turn.
I guess I'll just attack it then.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if it's, not going to listen.
Well, he's
As it
not
is.
had a chance to tell it anything, but yeah.
Well, he did tell it to stop when
Well,
he came out, and it didn't listen, so.
I'll go ahead and give you guys the benefit of knowing that he's telling you to stop.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm going to hit him then.
All right. Go ahead and roll to see if you do. Oh, there's a crit. That'll help. Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. So that is
2d10 for the crit. All right. 5.
+3, so 8.
Okay.
So that would be 10 because it doubles the dice.
No, you roll twice the amount of dice.
Oh, okay. So I need to roll 2 more.
Well, no, the
No,
one
never
and
mind.
the 4 that are there are good
Yeah.
for the one that you already attacked, but then you need to attack the second blast.
I already did. It was a 12.
Oh, I see. Okay, that one missed.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I gotcha. All right, great.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you do that damage. We're good. Okay, so it is its turn now, and it is still attacking. It's going to try to bite the spiritual weapon, and that's really not going to get it anywhere, so I'm not even going to roll that. But then it is going to, let's see, it's going to move forward a little bit and then swing its free tentacle again at Zinhorn. And it gets a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
All right, for 7 bludgeoning and 4 piercing damage, total of 11 damage, and you are restrained, grappled by its tentacle.
Okay.
All right. And so then now it's the Cobalt's turn, and looking at you, Nedry, it, you know, it, he sits up, he's looking eyes wide. He heard what you said, and then he scrambles to his feet, but that takes half his movement, so he can only get up to about here. But he's waving his arms like crazy, and he's saying, "No, please, I can get it to stop, but you have to stop attacking it." And so that's what he does. Carolina, your turn.
Let's see. Well, I'm not going to attack it. Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, not do anything right now. I'm just going to stay where actually I'm gonna move up to like here.
Okay.
And I'll hold Mind Sliver just in case.
Okay. Well, but what would trigger it?
But I don't. You know what? I'm not going to hold an action.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm going to stop attacking.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Sequential. You're currently still grappled.
Yeah, I will go ahead and try to break out of the grapple while I'm here.
So once again, athletics or acrobatics, but at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Okay, so it looks like the 10 is the
So
lower.
one's 10 is the low, yeah. So
Yeah,
only 10.
Yeah, you're struggling, but it's
But I will hold off on the bonus.
okay.
So I won't force it.
All
I
right.
will dangle menacingly.
Yeah, and it's like waving you around, and your legs are just kind of like wobbling beneath, like it's got you around the torso, pinning your arms to your chest, and you're just.
All right. I'll yield.
Okay, Zinhorn. You
I'm going
are
to try
also
and get
currently-
free.
Yeah.
So that's what? Athletics or acrobatics?
Correct, with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because it's got a, spiny tentacle wrapped around you.
Pair of tens will give me 13.
13 is just what you needed, so you were able to wriggle out of its grip and drop to the floor.
All right. Can I back away?
Yes, although you risk an opportunity attack. Because it
All
does
right.
have a 10-foot range.
I'm going to stand my ground then,
Okay.
and I guess hold an action of the Sacred Flame and the Spiritual Weapon
Okay.
if he can't get it to calm down.
Right. So it is going to get one more round, but that it seems like you guys have a plan. So, all right, Nedry, that's your turn now.
Okay. He'll walk up to just to the side of the Cobalt. I want to see how you do this, but, and he'll draw out his dagger. Don't try to run away, please. And I'm going to hold Booming Blade in case he tries to run away.
Okay. Okay. All right, Zaleen.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait. See what happens.
Okay. Sorry, it won't come through on the audio, but my dog is whining at me from the other room.
Aww.
The Odiog is whining at you from the other room.
Yeah. Okay. So Zaleen, that's Zaleen's turn. It is the Odiog, and it does happen to kind of look over at the direction of of the Cobalt. And I think you all feel just a little bit of an impression of confusion in your heads. but it's still like angry. So it is going to stomp forward and try to bite Zinhorn. Um, all right, but only gets a 9 to hit. And then it's going to let's see, it's going to try to use its tentacle to grab at the spiritual weapon, which obviously, once again, is not going to give it anything. It has an intelligence of 6. Okay, so that is its turn, and it is the Cobalt's turn now, and he's giving you kind of a wary side eye, Nedry, and he's got like tears in his eyes now that are kind of doing little trails down the soot that's all over his face from getting burned, and he's just kind of like, Oats, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. Just put him down. And that is his turn. So, is everyone else going to refrain from further antagonizing? Well,
I will.
Okay. In that case, then, by the time we get around to the Otyug's turn again, a lot of the fight has seemed to come out of it. It's pretty wounded still. It's still holding sequential in the air, but a little lower on the ground, not waving him around quite as much. And it sort of stumbles over here and lets the Cobalt sort of like come up to it and sort of nuzzle it. And he starts patting it, climbs back like up onto its back, and starts like scritching it on the head and says, "Drop it. Drop it." And after a moment, it unwinds its tentacle from around you, sequential, and thumps you to the ground. And then it starts just kind of it lays down on the ground and just starts kind of making a noise. And the Kobold is looking at the rest of you, still kind of a little wary, and he says, "Who are all of you, and what are you doing here?" He's clearly trying to stay calm.
Well, we didn't. I think we stumbled into this by accident, and we're very sorry that we hurt your pet friend.
Yes and yes, although probably livestock is closer.
Okay.
Didn't you see the sign? We made a barricade and a sign that said "Danger, keep out."
Well, we're
Oh,
yeah. We had to go this way.
Yeah. About then, 2 more kobolds run into the cave, and they are armed, such as it is. But when I say armed, I mean one of them has a mining pick and one of them has a pitchfork. And they charge into the room saying, "What's happening? What's happening?" And they when they see that the Otyug is wounded, they are clearly running over there and looking to him and looking at the rest of you kind of with scared expressions.
I promise we didn't come to fight. This was absolutely an accident. We really didn't want any trouble.
We're looking for something that was lost here, or not lost. It was put here a long time ago, and we were hoping to use your caves to get there, and we didn't know what the danger was. We're sorry for hurting you and for hurting your livestock.
Nedry kind of steps forward, his hand outstretched. "My name is Nedry. Do you have to feed that thing? Did you raise it from a small thing? Are there smaller things? Are they born that way? What exactly is it?"
He had his mouth half open to answer your first question, and then is just getting a little bit of shell shocked under the barrage there. But then the one that's kind of sitting up on top of him says, "If y'all are okay to talk, I'm going to encourage us all to put our weapons away, and we're going to very nicely and quietly walk into the other room if that's okay.
That's okay. I'm going to let go of the spiritual hammer.
All right.
I'm gonna use my parcel tongue and make my snake go back to sleep.
I think Nedry looks at them confused and then realizes he's still holding the dagger and puts it away.
So the other two kobolds fuss over the one that had run in there first a little bit, just because he looks like he got hit by a fireball. But he seems okay now. So, there's some discussion of making sure, everyone is okay enough. But let's see, I'll just go ahead and bring us to back to this screen for a moment. So they are, they bring you just like into just one of the other caves. It's a little bit back towards the where the storage room was. And so they say, so what were you looking for?
Well, we're trying to get to the end of what was the original track at this station.
But underneath it, under the original track.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess you're not far off. I mean, we hear the trains go by overhead. And I mean, I guess the Oates' cavern, I mean, I think it is under the old platform, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And they're kind of just talking back and forth to each other. The one who had run into the first place looks back to you, Nedry, and says, to answer some of your other questions, we didn't raise him from little, but we certainly tamed him. And I don't know if you know much about Odiegs, but they're nature's garbage disposals. You can feed him anything. And then what he leaves behind is excellent fertilizer.
Oh, that's what you meant by livestock. I didn't think there was any milk or anything. Or eggs. Do they lay eggs?
They look around at each other and they're kind of like, I don't think so.
You said that the his cave where we were just now, you said that's under the old track, right?
I think so. I mean, obviously, we don't have like a map of it or anything, but like I said, we hear the trains go by.
Is it okay if we go out there and have a look around for what we're looking for?
I mean, I guess, but like, I mean, thanks for, stopping and all, but like, you guys kind of barged into our home and attacked our animal. We put up signs that said warning, keep out, because we didn't want it to, like, it doesn't know strangers, and now he's hurt. So,
well, I healed you when you got hurt, and if you can keep Oates calm enough, I can heal it as well.
Okay. I guess that would be okay.
Is it safe enough for me to get close enough to touch? Or should I do it from further away?
If we're there, then yeah. I mean, I think the problem is just if we're not there to tell him no, then he thinks everything else is food.
Okay.
He's
Are
actually
you still
a very
hurt?
good boy. No, I'm okay. I mean, my outfit's kind of ruined, but I mean,
I'll cast Prestidigitation and clean him up a little bit.
Well, you make it less sooty. It is still half burned.
Right. There's only so much I can do.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's all right. These were my old overalls anyway. You don't wear your nice clothes down here.
We heard a tip that there was some excellent artisan produce grown down here. Maybe that's you guys.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely
we were hoping
us.
to buy some produce while we were down here as well.
All right. Well, I don't know how they do things where you come from. And he takes a moment, does a double take at you, sequential, like, and I'm not sure where that would even be, but generally speaking, you go to the storefront. You don't break into the storeroom.
Storefront,
So
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we like I said, we get good fertilizer. The rent's cheap down here.
Yeah, free. I bet
Yeah.
it's free.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
because
nothing in the city is free, but like, because what we pay for is that the city does not chase us out and gives us technical legal property if someone else tries to chase us out.
well, we don't
we're
want to
not
chase
trying
you
to do
out.
that.
Well, I mean, good, because I mean, you can't, not, legally anyway. And they all look a little bit uncertain there.
Well, we
We
would have
certainly
asked
didn't mean
permission,
to
but
disrupt anything.
yeah, we didn't see anybody when we came in, so there
Well,
was nobody to
yeah, you
ask.
also, like, where did you come in? And he's, like, pointing over there. It's like, the place that we blocked off and put a sign that said, danger, keep out? Or did you go a little further down to the tunnel to where our storefront is?
No, see, we went through the
Yeah.
danger keep out place, but
Yeah, we thought that was
reason-
like an
yeah.
antique sign, like,
Yeah. we thought that maybe that was like,
Old-
oh, if you go in here, you might
Yeah.
get electrocuted by the
Yeah.
train or something, not because you had to.
Yeah, they actually
guy.
get into an obvious old argument between them. I told you that we needed to be more specific on the sign. We needed to say that there's a dangerous animal inside. And then someone else is saying, well, that, more specific just makes people want to go in and see it even more. Anyway, so yeah, they're arguing about that. But yes, they are definitely okay with, the idea that you would heal their animal seems to calm.
Okay,
them
I will
down.
burn a first level spell and
I can
do
help too if you
cure
need it.
wounds. I think I'm
So,
Good.
like, here's the thing.
all right.
They are in no position to really resist you, but you guys did 70 points of damage to this thing. So,
All right. So
Yeah.
yeah,
so
Carolina.
healing it a little bit buys you some goodwill, but it does not make
Mhm.
you guys square.
Okay.
I can help.
Yeah.
Let's see, because I have.
Does
my
your
party
store have a
with me.
name?
I mean, like, we don't really, like, we kind of sell to the people who are, like, right in front of us. You know what I mean? It's not like we get a lot of window shoppers down here.
But you said you had a storefront.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if people do want to come down and buy from us, like, that's the place to go. It's like the front door.
Okay, I can work with that.
But it's kind of like the name is like us. Like, Kiki, I'm Kiki, and this is Nestle, and that's Twerp. Twerp is the one that ran in and first talked to you guys.
Okay.
Another 21 from me so far.
So that's 32 more total back to it.
All right, yeah. So he's feeling better, and they say, and this is Oats McGoats. And he's like, aren't you, boy? And he's like rubbing this monster on its like rubbery hide, and he's clearly like kneading really hard. It's like, yeah, you got to really get your hands in there, or else you won't feel it. But and then you can see it sort of like nuzzling up at the reaction, and then like using the non-spiky end face of the tentacle, like rubbing all over him. So, you said you were looking for something, but like, what? Like, I mean, you can see in the cavern. I mean, it's just a tunnel.
It's kind of a box.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a symbol we're looking for.
Yeah, Nedry, don't you have it drawn in your book? Could you show them?
Sure. And I'll show them my diagram.
Okay.
Does somebody have locate object? Like, if they can
Yeah, I
locate
do.
the symbol?
I mean, they look at the symbol and they say, I mean, I don't think I've seen anything like that.
And it's been lost for a long time. We're here to retrieve it.
So where was it supposed to be? Under the train tracks? I mean, like, how deep?
Hmm.
He just said at the end of the original train track. He buried it there.
But when you were up at the tracks with the locate object in Horn, your sort of little triangulation put it at about 6 feet below the level of the tracks.
Okay, so yeah, I tell them 6 foot below.
And they say, "Oh, well, I mean, that's probably still in the ceiling of this cavern."
Yeah,
Dinhorn, can you do that again?
yeah. If as long as they can control oats, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do.
they lead him out into another area. So
Okay,
yeah.
so I am going to cast locate object again.
Okay. Here, I'm going to put us back on the map just for, orienteering here. So, they have led Oats away. And so you're all here. And then, sure enough, your locate object tells you that, so the roof of this cavern is about 20 feet high. And your locate object tells you that, I mean, it's pretty much in the center of this cavern, but it's about like 25 feet up. So it does seem to be embedded in the ceiling in here.
So there, right about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we should probably ask permission before we go doing something like, oh, I don't know, cast shatter on the ceiling? I think.
Who should we ask? You mean the kobolds?
Yeah, well, I mean, they
It's
rent
the
this
cavern,
place.
right?
Yeah.
And we don't want them to be like, all of a sudden they hear things blowing up. Like, I would be concerned if somebody came into my place of business and just started, like, blasting at the ceiling.
But so they're listening to this and they're just kind of, well, I mean, is it dangerous? Like, what is it? It's a box, but what's in it?
We don't know. I think there's a book that's in it, but we don't know what else.
They all get in
Yeah.
a little huddle and are whispering amongst themselves for a moment.
I make my cloak billow while they're doing that.
One of them kind of peeks up and looks over at that and then gets back down in the huddle.
Hey,
Nedry writes
Nedry,
something. It counts out things with his fingers, then crosses something out, counts something else with his fingers.
can
Yeah?
you still do meld into stone?
No, that was something that the
Hmm.
The
circlet could do.
Oh,
And
okay.
you can't, I don't
I've-
think you can move around when you do that either.
No,
Oh, right.
can't really see anything either.
So
I've been
they-
working
Best I
on a
could-
method to elevate people so I could get somebody up to the ceiling, but not in the ceiling.
The kobolds break out of their huddle and they say, "We propose that you pay us 50 gold and we will lend you use of our mining tools and our ladders. And you have to, whatever it is that you take out of the box, you have to take it away with you."
Thought we're taking the whole box.
Well, that's fine. Although what you know is that this is you were told it's like a stone cube that's like 3 foot square, so it's probably pretty heavy.
So I would motion the others over to me, and in my pouch, I still have 35 gold. I haven't spent any of that yet.
I have 17, and I'm keeping my voice down because this is a negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah. Surely they can. That's just a starting point, right? So
Yeah.
How many days were we at Yo Bears?
I should have it's 14.
I have 14 gold.
Well, the
I
other
don't have
thing
any.
is that you do know before you left that you gave him 1,000 gold worth of art objects that he's going to sell on your behalf. So
Mhm.
you kind of have that coming too. But you don't have that in hand.
No. But so you have 35 and you have
So
17.
and I've
Yeah.
got another 29. We can cover
Oh,
it.
yeah, we're
I think
fine.
you can strike a better deal, Carolina. I have faith.
Maybe tell
Yeah.
them. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It depends on how big of a mess we make. And we did cause them some problems.
Right, their livestock is still a little bit wounded, so they probably have to pay. Like,
What if
just
we
to
bought
get him
some
back
vegetables?
up to speed?
That's what I was getting at.
Hmm.
You
I'm
know,
I
sure
don't
I
know.
that
I feel a little bad haggling over this kind of.
Yeah.
It does
So-
seem pretty fair.
Yeah.
I'm with Carolina. I feel like, and I'm like, make sure that they can't hear us. I feel like they don't know that much about money. Like it seems like they're not very experienced with this sort of thing.
I mean, they have a store.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
This is different.
What I would say is that just as far as like general sort of income is concerned, 50 gold is probably as much as they make at their produce stand in a month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like it seems like they're
I think it's a good deal, and I think we throw in some extra gold for them to bag up some produce, whatever they have, and we'll take it back to the castle.
Well, there's another thought. They know how to use all this equipment. I don't.
I don't really know how to do that either.
Well,
I mean, it's a pickaxe. You just like
I assume you hit things with other things. You hit rock with pickaxe, and I'm good
I
at
don't think it's
hitting
that
things.
difficult.
I mean, that'd be awesome if we had a dwarf with us right about now, because they're really good at that.
That's true. But you know,
They say,
Okay.
I hope you won't be offended if we would choose to not actually participate in the actual digging. You know, it just seems like liability reasons.
Okay, wait a minute. Carolina, you said something about doing shatter. Does anybody have that spell?
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, so what if we don't need the tools and we actually
wait.
can shatter it?
wait. If what happens if we shatter the stone box that the stuff is in? Could
Then
we?
it would just fall out.
Well, we
my
might destroy
concern
what's
is
in
that
it.
my concern is that like the whole ceiling would come down.
Yeah, there's that too.
So
And it's
that's-
right
Possibility.
under the train track, which we definitely don't want to damage.
So as small an area as possible, I think, for us to.
Yeah.
And we can
Yes.
pinpoint basically with your locate object, we'll be able to do that.
For 10 minutes. So once you
Yeah.
cast it, you have 10 minutes. But you could, sort of reflect on, like, you can look up at the ceiling and say, I know which part of the ceiling it is. But yeah.
Right.
How much damage does shatter do?
I think it's like 15 foot.
3d8.
But it's more than that if it's
And-
an object
yeah.
of
Mhm.
the appropriate
If it's a
materials.
mineral or crystal or
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
think
let's
maybe the
not.
pickaxe is the better option here.
Maybe I'm good at doing pickaxes. I don't know.
Well, let's find out. So I think we can agree to your terms.
They all put on very serious business expressions and nod and then offer to shake hands. And in fact,
I will shake on it.
yeah, great. And then they do go ahead and they start fetching ladders that are like they look sturdy enough, but they certainly seem optimized for Cobalt-sized things. But you think they'll hold. It's just maybe not with a lot of extra space, spare. But and then pickaxes and so on. And then they do go and bring some baskets of some actually very nice and fresh looking produce, like tomatoes and lettuce and cucumbers and stuff like that.
These look delicious.
Thanks. I saw that you had it, so but what I would recommend is prestidigitation before, because we
Oh, we always wash fruits and vegetables before we eat them.
with magic, it is very easy to grow produce down here in the sewers. But yeah, you do want to wash it before you eat it.
Fair.
Fair enough.
Thank you for the tip.
I'm gonna take a pickaxe and climb up on the ladder.
All right.
So am I.
Okay. So, I'm not going to make you roll or anything because it's really just a matter of time, right? But you guys are just like, you sort of mark out the area that you expect it to be. You had like a little dotted line square that, is above, and you're just kind of chipping it away. You're leaving a little pile of, debris underneath, as you're chipping the rock away above.
Let me know if you get tired. I'll take a turn.
So I think they've got 3 ladders, so you could probably have 3 of you up on ladders working on it. If
Come on up, Sequential. This is kind of fun. I'm just like,
I,
Please
uh,
stay down here for moral support, and I will entertain
hold
you
my
with
ladder.
here,
No, hold a ladder.
Yeah, Nedry's not going to be much good to this, but he is going to talk to the 3 kobolds
Mhm.
and ask them about their storefront and if they can show him where it is.
Mhm.
I've got a proposal for you. It should help.
So I'm saying that your area that you're looking for is about right here. So if you guys want to put like where you have your ladder positions, and then I'm not going to move your tokens on the map to the storefront area just because the you know.
It's an aside thing. I have
Sure.
a conclusion for it, though.
Okay, yeah. So, but yes, while they're working on that, Nedry, Kiki, the Cobalt, is happy to take you over and show you the storefront. And then they do actually, like as you come around, you pass through different areas where they seem to have another pen where they have some sort of a creature. Let's see. Would Nedry know what a grick is?
No, he doesn't really know animals at all.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of sort of like serpent looking thing with like a almost like a bird beak on it, and it looks like nasty, but they're penned up. And then past a lot of different grow beds with some looks like specialized continual flame spells providing light, and they've got a fairly ingenious little irrigation system going up. Going on there, and take you around to where they, looks like, a cozy, if a little untidy, a little cluttered living area. And then, of course, there's an area where if you guys had just followed the sewer tunnels a little further along, you would have come across the door that would have, it's basically a door where it can open in the top and the bottom, and a sign on the bottom half of it facing out into the tunnel says, fresh produce, locally grown.
Okay. Nedry will suggest that they add arrows to the easiest path from where the danger sign is,
Okay.
and then go back to the danger sign. I'm going to make this better for you. Okay?
They seem interested in your input.
Okay. Goes up to the sign, pulls out his crystal, and starts to write and cast a spell.
Okay.
The little spell looks like an icon of an ear. He clears his throat. This area is dangerous private property, but if you're looking for great vegetables, go to the storefront and talk to Kiki, Nassel, or Werp. Thank you. And ends the spell, casting magic mouth on the sign. The trigger is anybody coming to the sign.
Nice. They are delighted, and they find that just amazing and fascinating. They are extremely grateful, and I think it takes. So here's a question. The last one's name was Thwerp, not Werp. So
Okay, I couldn't hear clearly. So.
No, that's okay. I guess what I just wanted to, like, before I put that on you necessarily, it's like they're so excited that they kind of don't seem to even mind that she said the third one's name wrong, because it's so exciting anyway. And just like, in fact, actually, I think the other two start saying, I mean, maybe just go by Werp. I mean, it sounds pretty cool. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear it quite correctly. I can change it tomorrow. Actually, better yet, Maybe once a month I'll drop by and I can change the voice so that it comes out a little different. That way people get surprised pleasantly every time you come in. Maybe if you have a sale on or something.
They are very grateful. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I mean, I'm not going to say that we had a lot of problems with people breaking through the barricade, but I mean, certainly something like this would certainly have stopped you guys. And although, I mean, I think in hindsight, we're kind of happy that you guys came by, but like it could have gone better, right at the beginning. I think we were great. So, but yes, this is so great. Thank you so much. And it's also true that when people come try to find us here, like I said, we don't get a lot of foot traffic, and maybe we would get more if people could read the signs and understand where we are.
Well, I'll be sure to mention the place and maybe think of a better name. Here, have our card. And I give him the pocket protector's card.
Huh.
Maybe something like this in the future. If you've got something like that, we can distribute them too.
And then one of them, they're kind of peering at the card with curiosity, and then one of them says, "I know what this is. Branding." And the other two, like, "Oh."
It's a special kind of magic that I'm not really that familiar with yet.
So that's great. I think they are very, very pleased with that, and I think they were already happy with the deal struck, but now it feels like they're just like they're enthusiastic now, and they're curious about what you guys are going to get up to. And all right, so as you are, we make our way back over into the cavern. You guys have chipped through about maybe 8 inches worth of stone, and all of a sudden you definitely like break through, and you realize that there's something above. It's not like hollow, but there's an area that was clearly like a cavity, and it's full of like dirt and gravel instead of the solid stone that you were just chipping through.
Progress.
Yeah.
There's something in here.
But if we drop the whole box down here, is like the gravel that's under the track bed gonna come with it and mess up the track? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, it's beyond the track, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's right under, like right there,
Well,
that it's just gonna collapse.
It was under.
I mean, it was at the time.
Well, so where it was is the steel structure that is at the very end of the track, where like the train doesn't quite go on top of that. It's like what the end of the train would push up against, like the bumper at the end. It was under that. So not directly under where the train would be, but under that piece.
Okay. Do we want to try and get the whole box down, or just like chip through the box since it's a stone box? I'm thinking we might want to chip through the box.
Give me a couple of
makes
minutes to
sense.
check to see if there's any magic around it. It may actually be trapped or something, or magically sealed.
Okay.
So I'll spend 10 minutes to ritually cast Detect Magic.
Okay, and I mean, you could probably do that while they continue to kind of try to expose this area, because you're having to sort of dig away a little bit, and it is letting some of this dirt and gravel like fall out through the hole, because you're trying to get to where is the actual like this thing. And certainly as you kind of chip away, you make a little bit of a bigger hole, but you're certainly getting some of the dirt and gravel falling through, probably making a cavity in there somewhere. You do eventually, a few inches in the right direction, you find what looks like the corner of it's not like a very sharp corner, but it's clearly like shaped. Like it's a shaped cube corner of something made of stone. And it's got a slightly rounded edge to it, but it's just obviously not natural.
I wonder. I'm just gonna try something. Wait, what's the duration? No, wait. And then yeah, we need more information. Maybe so. I've been working on a spell that could conceivably significantly reduce the size of the box, so we could pull it down in a small. But oh no, that would still leave a cavity behind, wouldn't it?
You could try
That would be
filling the cavity
dangerous.
with bread. Won't last forever, but I have been thinking about a bread to stone spell, but I haven't really progressed very far in that research.
So yeah, I was thinking, yeah, I've got enlarge/reduce. It would make it an eighth of the weight and half the size. So
Yeah, it
we
reduces
wouldn't
it
have to
like
dig
in
as
half
much.
by each dimension. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So are we worried that when we take the box out that everything is going to collapse? I mean, is that the fear?
Yeah, yeah, that's my worries. Yeah,
How
that
can we
device at the end of the
tell?
train track would fall through.
Can we tell just from like messing around with this box how heavy it is?
Well, so I think now that you've exposed like a corner of it, you can kind of get a sense of what kind of stone it is. If you imagine a a 3 foot cube of solid stone, it's going to be pretty heavy. Like I would have to like look it up, but you're talking like several 100 pounds at least. Like probably I don't know. See, now I want to know. I'm gonna quickly Google uh, 3 foot cube of solid stone weight. Let's see. Here's a stone. Oh, never mind. That's not what I was wanting. Let's see. Granite solid volume to weight. Uh,
There you
okay,
go.
so volume. So let's see. Let's see. A cubic meter um, would be.
It's gonna be close enough.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like almost 6,000 pounds.
That's solid, though.
That's solid, but what he told you was that it was essentially like it's solid enough that it has a foot of stone around it in all dimensions. That was the whole point, is to block certain kinds of spells.
Okay.
All right.
So
So
chisel through
Yeah.
the box.
yeah, we're gonna expose more of the box and then measure like a foot from the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
and start chiseling through the box there.
All right.
So we can just reach
Can
inside.
we get like a basket or something underneath for when all the stuff starts to come out of it?
Well, a bunch is already on the ground, but you.
Well, I mean the contents of the box.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um,
How about
Sure.
a blanket and we tie it between the ladders?
I'm sure they have lots of baskets
Well, the
because they run out.
part of the trick right now is that you've got like every time you manipulate the opening a little bit, you're getting more of this packed dirt and gravel that's like packed around it coming down through it. 'Cause as you disturb more of it and expose more of the box, it's coming down. So like anything you set up right now is going to be catching a lot of that already. So which you
Right.
can still
I was
do.
thinking
Yeah.
after we were done with that part in yeah,
Mhm.
but I see what you're saying. But yeah.
Okay.
We
But
should
yeah,
have something to put all this stuff in.
so here's what you discover is that as you are making your effort to get enough of the box exposed that you can start chipping away like at the corner and the edges of it, trying to get far enough into it to access the center, enough of the dirt and gravel that was packed around it is falling through the hole you've made that all of a sudden at a certain point you see light up there. And it's not a lot, but there's a little bit of a hole, and when you look up through it, you can see just a little bit of a steel structure above it.
Okay. Maybe somebody's got something to plug that up.
I mean,
Put
at
some bread
least
in it.
as of right now, you don't see anyone looking down the hole at you.
Right?
Yeah.
Put some bread in that hole.
Well, you can't completely block it right now because you kind of need to be able to get at the side of the cube to chip it away.
Yeah. And
We
So-
can't chip at the underside of the
Yeah,
cube.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, but the problem is the more you expose of the underside of the cube, like you have to like. I get okay, so yeah, okay,
I mean, if it's 3 feet,
yeah.
we can just like chip away, you know,
the center section.
yeah,
or
like a
something.
center
okay,
section.
so but just like getting it to the point where you can do that, you've got a little bit of a hole that's all the way up to the opening there, just because it's like, you know, I mean, it wasn't designed to allow you to get it out, right? Like, but
let me see.
but
What time of day is it?
It's nighttime by now.
So
what you
No,
learned
never
about
mind.
the train schedule is that sometimes trains do arrive overnight, but generally you don't have any departures overnight. And certainly the terminal is going to be a lot less, you know, crowded unless a train has just gotten in or something like that.
okay.
But yeah, so here's, I think, what it comes down to is that, like, you guys are realizing you're probably not going to be able to get at it without it being at least a little bit obvious to someone who's closely paying attention from above that something's happened. But it becomes a question then of, like, can you get at what you need quickly and then fix it before anybody notices, maybe? Or how worried are you about somebody finding out, you know, if it could maybe be fixed later? Like, these are the sorts of questions. But it's basically, I think, apparent now that it's probably impossible to have it be completely undetected from above if someone was paying attention.
Well, can we make it look like there was a tiny cave in here?
I mean, technically, that is exactly what it is.
Yeah,
But
Shouldn't
not
have
like
happened.
intentional.
Yeah.
Like
I think we're giving the kobolds good cover here, because all they have to do is say someone broke in and chipped at the ceiling and exposed the hole,
Right.
and they didn't see who it was. We
Or
did
it could-
break in, and they can just kind of fudge the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I think we need to get what we came for, pick up our produce, and they can even say, hey, we came out this morning, or whatever time they would normally be in here, and there was a hole in the ceiling.
what if we're gonna lie and we're gonna ask these little kobolds to lie for us, why don't we just blast it so that it falls after we get what we want out of it, so it actually creates a cave in there that looks like it
Because
caved in.
you might damage the track or part of the rest of the structure.
But we're already causing a cave in. Okay,
a
that's
little
what I-
cave
Okay.
in.
Okay. Are there any trains
Kind
arriving
of like a sinkhole.
tonight? Did you guys check?
If any of you want, you
tried.
can try to make a history check to see if you remember what the timetable for the trains was.
I rolled a history 19.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
you know
At 20.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I think because you guys did look at the schedule and you were specifically kind of wanting to know, you know, your original idea is like, when is it going to be not occupied? What you know is there should be no train on there right now, and at least for this track, the only overnight arrival is several hours away.
So if there is a collapse, no one will be injured, and someone will likely notice it before a train is coming in so they can stop it.
So what I was thinking because this hole is directly under where the train like butts up against. So odds are, if we time it right, like as we hear the train coming in, like just after, years and years of wear, when the train pulls in, the ceiling just collapses. What do you think?
Things happen.
But there will be people on the train.
But I don't think anybody, like, I don't think that the train would fall in, like, from where this is.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen.
Are we leaving the box behind?
That was my concern. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, if we can create an actual cave in and destroy the box with the stone, it will look all natural, not like somebody was trying to get something out of the ceiling.
We're not going to be able to
Does
carry
the,
that
But
box.
that's going to make a lot of noise. And so if you do that, when the train pulls in, the timing is right.
Does the box emit any magic?
No, it doesn't. And I mean, and it like the shape and design of it is designed specifically to protect anyone from being able to detect magic from inside it. So like it's thick enough that your detect magic doesn't penetrate.
But the stone itself is not
The stone
magic.
itself is not magic, and in fact, as he described it, it's just the symbol that's carved on one side that allows you to like magically detect where that symbol is.
We
But
might want to not leave that symbol behind, too.
Well, so here's the thing. When we blow up the ceiling, we can drag the box off into another room and leaving behind all this debris and just like cover the tracks of us dragging the thing away.
But it's going to look like there was something there. There's not going to be enough debris to explain why it collapsed. We're taking like this big cube out of the space, and there's going to be an emptiness there that's going to look obvious.
I
But
don't
if we
really want
shatter
them
it-
to blame Kiki or Nashel or Torp either.
But if we shatter it, it'll look like just this jagged chunk comes down out of the ceiling, and naturally, what's above it will fall down. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we
that's
move the
plausible.
I'll also say that I think, based on the size of this area that you're working with and where its location was, meaning like not under the actual track part, but just the end part, like you think that even if that whole thing were to fall underground, it would not cause the entire like train to fall through that hole because the train's bigger than that. So it might make more of a mess as the train kind of bumps further along into the like retaining wall instead of the the steel structure, and it might like have the front wheels of it kind of settle down into that hole. But if the rest of the ground is intact, you're not going to get the train
But-
falling through the hole.
Don't trains usually stop, a couple of feet before the bumper? That's
Exactly.
only
Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah.
designed to not like ram the bumper. They're designed
Right.
to just be just easing up to that spot so slowly that when they touch it, it's stopped, and that's how they're in the right position for the platform.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
think
they
it's
don't come
okay.
in at speed. Yeah, so they if they see that there's a problem, they can absolutely stop it early.
So what is the goal of blowing up the box?
Well,
Who
no,
are
not
we trying to
blowing up
hide
the
from?
box. We're trying to blow up the ceiling, which will release the box. We can drag the box away,
Sequential
cover the
can
drag
shrink-
marks.
The
Sequential
box
can
weighs
shrink
a
the box.
lot.
Well, if we
I
tie it with
can-
ropes and all of us.
Sequential can shrink the box.
Oh,
You
wait.
just said that.
Right, but it's still going to be pretty heavy. I can shrink it.
Well,
And
so it'll be
levitate
an
it.
eighth of this, an eighth. So if it was going to
Yeah.
be full size, would be 6,000 pounds. It would be an eighth of that. So, which is
Yeah.
still
But I think all of us
780
working together,
pounds.
yeah.
all
But
of us
that's-
working together should be able to move it.
Yeah, but it's going to fall 20 feet first.
Okay.
And
Because
hopefully open up.
we're not walking it down these ladders. The ladders will
Well,
collapse under the weight.
I know. So we move all of the stuff out of the way. Because
And let
obviously
it
you don't
drop.
want ladders here anyway to make it look like somebody was.
I much prefer the idea of shrinking the box and letting it fall. And then maybe Nedry can stick it in the bag. Well, no, we don't want to stick it in the bag
It's not going to fit.
because our guest is in the bag.
So I'm just
Plus
thinking
it'll
about.
enlarge again.
And I'm also just thinking about. I think the way the magic spell of that spell works is that, like, if you're selecting the box from the outside, it's not gonna shrink the contents.
The contents of the box.
Can we just chip away at the bottom of the box and leave it there?
I mean, you can. So the only thing I was trying to emphasize earlier is you can absolutely do that. Leave the box in place. It just will be obvious unless you fix it that
Right.
that there was a minor cave-in caused by something, and there's now a hole that they could look down and see into the cavern you're in.
Yeah.
Right. As long as the kobolds are willing. I mean, they don't know who we are. Well, they have our card.
Yeah, they know exactly who we are. We introduced ourselves.
That's why I'm saying once the box is gone, just blow up where the hole was so that it removes evidence of like there being something specific there rather than just rocks. It's more of a organic shape.
I mean, it probably won't look natural if you blow it up.
Yeah. I say
Well,
we go
just-
ahead and
Well, if I just
Shatter.
if I use an Eldritch Blast, or if sequential use Shatter, Shatter would shatter the rocks. It wouldn't be
There wouldn't be scorch
like an
marks or anything.
explosion. Yeah.
And he can also do it further down the line so just the edge catches this hole. Right?
Sure.
And this way it's further away from the train.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It feels wrong, but I'm going to say yes.
Well, so to be sure, chipping away gets you to the contents with less damage to the track area, but leaves the box in play, which will almost certainly be discovered when they try to investigate the
Right.
minor cave-in, right?
Yeah.
Alternately, you take the box with you somehow or destroy it, but that's going to make a bigger mess up top.
Yeah, we can try to get inside the box, get the contents out, and then try to cosmetically make it look better again up top.
Yeah. I mean, do we have a way that we can block off that hole, or I don't know, protect it so that it doesn't cause a bigger cave-in?
I mean, you
Well,
can.
I've got
Yeah.
I know the mending cantrip, and maybe we can wedge up some
Some bread.
a bedroll up there and
Stick a crowbar in there.
just gotta look right.
I mean, the thing is, a bunch of the dirt and gravel has already fallen through the hole. You could absolutely fix the hole so that no more comes through, but it would be hard to put back what's already fallen through.
Right.
I mean,
So I think when we're done, we just go back up top and we can try to cover it over.
I don't think that's gonna work though.
hop down
It's not
next to
gonna
the
work.
track and just kick the dirt
It's
up into it.
it's dark down here, so
Yeah.
it's not likely to be spotted up top unless they until their next regular maintenance
Yeah.
visual
So,
inspection.
Yeah, what it comes down to is just if it helps at all, there is no perfect solution here where you get what you need and there's nothing detected. You have to choose between imperfect solutions. Unless
So,
you had somebody
It's what
genius that
how
I
much
thought
for
of.
risk do we think somebody knowing what that symbol on the box is, knowing what the box is, discovering what we were doing?
Well,
How big of
I
a
mean,
risk is that
so
to want us to cover it up?
it's not
Okay.
exactly what we were doing, but if it has anything to do with the reclaimers, it's going to cause some heads to turn.
So maybe don't say that out loud. So this is what I think we should do. Get the box out. See if we can empty out as much as we can, and destroy the box too. After removing the contents, and then do the bigger shatter on the ceiling so it looks like a more natural cave-in. But we obviously need to destroy the box as well, or at least part of it, or make it look like the rest of the rock. So pulverize it, I guess, or at least that symbol.
I agree.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with creating that much danger for people upstairs, but we do know that we can tell Brushstick that we found it. We found the hole like that, and he should make sure it gets fixed up.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to explain to him why we were down here poking around if we tell him we found the hole.
No, he actually provided us with the reason. We were looking for the history of this particular train station. That much is true.
Wait,
We also heard about the great
somebody?
vegetables, which we actually came and found.
Wha-
And then we found this weird hole that happened, and we were very concerned
What?
about it.
Why would you tell him about the hole?
We didn't.
Somebody's gonna find it. It's gonna be obvious.
I don't want somebody to find it by falling into it.
Nobody
That
will
would hurt.
fall into it.
See, here's the thing, Nedry. We were up there talking to him about our interest in this, and some of the things that we said could be construed as a little bit suspicious. So if we went to him and we were like, look at this giant hole we found, it's
Yeah.
going to look suspicious.
I mean, if Carolina explains it, it won't look nearly as suspicious.
Carolina
Well,
wasn't
okay.
with us.
So,
Exactly.
guys, we have something built like these kobolds. You don't think that maybe they would report, hey, there's a whole bunch of gravel and suddenly there's a hole in our ceiling? You don't think maybe they would report that immediately upon discovery?
One of the kobolds, like the kobolds had gotten into a huddle again. And then they're saying, how much for us to say that we were trying to expand our territory and we dug into the ceiling?
What?
Or maybe Oates McGroats shrugged.
Well, yeah, like he's got the tentacles. We wanted him to have more ceiling room to wave him around.
So I
And then
still have.
accidentally, oops, oh my gosh, we didn't realize how close it was.
So I still have the sending stone.
Wait a minute.
Um,
Wait a minute.
So that Yo Bear had. So I
Okay.
can ask.
But before you do, we have this really cool thing that we got at this awesome shop that we went to before we came here. And I look at Zinhorn and I'm like, do you still have it? The bat.
Oh, the bat. Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many people you have that maybe give you trouble because you're kobolds and you're doing a lot of stuff down here and maybe they're jealous, maybe you have robbers. But if you did, this thing could be super protective for you if you got into trouble.
They're looking at it. It's like it's a stick.
But
Magic stick.
yes,
But you have to say nice things about sticky zickies, and then it's easier to hit things, and it does damage, and it lights up. So
yeah, so like if
What
say
was-
a bad
what
guy
was-
was coming to get you and you wanted to really whack him, you just be like, Sticky Zickies is the best, and the bat would light
And
up all
as you
crazy.
say, as you say that, all of a sudden the logo on the side of this bat just like a neon sign, and it's you hear it was not as obvious when you're up in the store where there's a lot of activity, but now you're hearing this little fanfare. And the kobolds are all like, ooh.
Isn't that awesome?
Wait.
How much did you guys pay for that?
doesn't
Not a lot.
matter.
Doesn't matter. It was
Doesn't
worth
matter.
every penny.
All
It was
of
actually
all of a
it was
sudden,
really
all of a
expensive.
sudden they're looking like, because they were saying, oh, that looks really cool, and then you just said, oh, it wasn't very much.
It was worth every penny. Actually, it was actually kind of expensive. Like for
We
what
worked out
we-
a special deal with
With the-
Zicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much was that? And at this point, Caroline was like, "What the hell?"
I think it was like 150
What,
gold. Is that right?
150,000 gold. Yeah.
Yeah, like we had to call Yobir and get special permission to buy it, and he was like, "Well, if it's for sticky zickies, then you have the money."
Make a deception check.
Let me see here. Come on, roll it. Crying out loud.
Roll that deception check. So it rolled twice.
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I don't know, but the first one's a 7.
Yeah.
They kind of narrow their eyes and say, "It's pretty cool, but what else?"
My cloak billows as I think. I don't know. What kind of things do you guys like? I mean, you're farmers. What would be helpful to you?
Money. I mean, we'll take the stick, but I think we need more. I mean, because, like, we could get in trouble. I mean, the city might try to make us pay for it, you know? Like, I mean, we need
true.
at least enough to cover what they might fine us if they think we're in trouble for it. If we're going
And
to take the rap
how
for
much?
How much
How
do
much?
you think?
How much do you think that would be?
I think they have no idea.
Like probably 30 gold. Like that would be a pretty big fine.
So what about some kind of alarm system?
We generally
Interesting.
don't, have a lot of people trying to break in. You guys are kind of the exception.
Well, people kind of blow right past your warning sign, right? What if you knew that they were coming?
Well, Nedry already made us a neat little.
Well,
Oh wow, that
but
was nice
what-
of you, Nedry.
what if there was a device that if someone came in here, that whoever puts down this device, if someone damages it in any way, then the person who put it down is immediately brought to it.
What if you put that in your store?
That I think if it's that cipher you're talking about, it doesn't
Mhm.
it's not permanent.
Well, but they don't know that.
Okay.
You know,
Well, you can try to sell that with a deception check then if you want.
I mean, it's a cool thing. I didn't say that it don't. It
I
worked,
know. I'm just saying,
Right,
like
yeah.
they're interested.
And
Like, how
then-
long does it last? You know, because like
Let's see.
Lasts for one day. That's what we know.
Dirty 20.
That's not bad. They're like, all right, well, that and the bat, and we'll tell anyone who comes looking that we were trying to expand our cave. We didn't realize it was gonna come under the trap.
Deal.
Deal.
don't forget to say that Sticky Zickies is awesome when you wield that bat.
Well, yeah, the original one lasted a minute and then went down, but I think it comes back on. They definitely think that's cool, and they start like playing around with it, swinging it around.
I think that next time we go back there, we should ask her for like 2 of those, and we should just use them like this, and we can expand word about Sticky
Bargaining
Zickies.
chips.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got fall kobolds set up to cover your big heist. So what's next? I mean, it's a ticking clock because there's already a
Back
hole
to
up there.
excavating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. How long until the next train, like based on what we know?
it's a couple of hours away, but it's also already true that the more time you take and the more noise you're making, like there might still be people on the platform, right? Like they're not standing right by the tracks necessarily. There's not a lot of them, but like theoretically, there's already a passage, like an opening that goes up there. So you could be detected, especially if you take a long time or make a lot of noise.
All right. So how do we want to do it? Do we want to just open up the middle, or are we going to blast it out?
How long will it take to open up the middle?
I think, let's say half an hour.
How loud would it be?
Yeah, I think that's worthwhile.
I think that is less loud because
Okay.
you're basically just chipping away underneath.
Okay.
And you're making less of a disturbance up front. The downside of that plan is just that it leaves the box and the symbol in place.
Right, but that's
yeah. So
that's the next step of the plan. So yeah, first step, I think we should go ahead, and bore
Chisel it.
into it.
all right.
It doesn't have to be a big hole, just one I can fit through.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting inside that box.
Well, I was going to get the stuff out.
You can just reach in and grab it and pull it out. You're not getting in that box because you're small,
Gravity
but
does
more
that.
weight, you know? You might pull it down, you could get hurt.
I won't get hurt. I'll just fly away.
You say that. You say that. You don't know. All right.
I still have the smallest hands.
All right, so
Yes.
now that we've talked about this for like 45 minutes,
Mhm.
So
let's do it.
Yeah,
you work
keep on
on
chiseling.
chipping it away, and eventually you get to the point where like it can't just be like a very narrow hole, right? Because you're going
No.
up through like a foot of stone, right? So it has to be big enough that you can actually get to it, or I guess if you're drilling it, but then you risk that the hole's not big enough to actually get anything out, right?
Yeah,
So-
that was my thought.
Yeah.
It has to be wide enough that we can pull out what's inside it.
Exactly, and so it takes a while, but you're very eventually able to get you break through, and when you first break through in that cavity, what immediately happens is that a bunch of blue powder starts drifting out of it, and I need everyone in the vicinity there to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
19.
17.
2. A
11.
natural 1.
Okay. So, I
Team
think,
beats me.
yeah. So, Zaleen and Sequential are both able to sort of back away from it and not, catch it. But I think the remaining three of you, Lynn and Zinhorn and Nedry, find yourself inhaling some of it involuntarily, and it tastes really bad. And you kind of cough it out, and you sort of got like a nasty aftertaste on your tongue, but you don't notice anything else at the moment.
I'm gonna
swallow.
take some of it and put it in a sample bottle, or
Oh, you're
Didn't
learning.
expect that.
I like it.
I've got some spare flasks.
okay. Since I already snorted a whole bunch of it the minute it started coming down, let me
Can I
put it in
use
the vial.
prestidigitation to get it out of my mouth?
I mean, yeah.
Here's some water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't like last. It's gross, but it's just like ugh. Yeah. So, so that happened as soon as you cracked through and exposed the little, the cavity in there at all. And so it takes a little bit more doing to make the hole in there big enough to, to sort of reach into. So is this Nedry just like sticking his hand up in there?
I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
They
what
would
he wanted.
probably
Yes.
be
So
first
remember,
to do it.
like part of what you're looking for is a book. So the hole has to be big enough to bring a book out.
Yeah.
I could cast dancing lights and potentially.
I've got that
Look at that.
coin.
How big is the inside?
So it's basically about 1 foot cube inside.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I've got the coin of delving, which should light up the inside of that.
Well, but
Pretty
you're
easily.
also reaching
Yeah.
up through a
It's
foot
going to
of
be one
stone,
arm.
right?
I
So
Yeah.
I think I would probably be the closest. I don't think Nedry would go up there if it's not big enough for him to physically get into, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
Sequential, check
So,
for
I
traps
think it's-
before you stick your hand in there.
I thought it was big. Well, we already found a trap.
Yeah.
Check for physical, like snappy traps. Or
I will. I mean, I won't be done in time, but I'll start casting detect magic again.
okay.
So yeah,
You I mean, you once if you do it with the ritual, it'll take a little while, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you do that while.
so if I
while
want to
everyone's
search for
widening the
traps, I
hole.
do investigate.
Investigate, yeah.
20.
Pretty good. Yeah. You don't get the sense that there is any additional kind of mechanism. You don't spot anything that looks like glyphs of any kind. But
Oh.
then again, you also don't 100% yet know like what's in there, right? But you don't seem to you don't seem to see any traps associated with like the box.
Fudge. None of us actually had to go in. I could have asked Thea. Never mind. Freya. Sorry. It's been a while.
Unseen servant.
Mm.
I mean, you could still do that. You all you've gotten out of it so far is blue powder.
you could. Do you have mage hand?
No.
I
I have
do.
a servant instead.
I do. I have mage
That
hand.
works.
Reach up in there with the mage hand.
Yeah, and I can grab anything that's what, like 10
10
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah. So I will cast Mage Hand and send it up into the box.
Okay. So, I don't think that you have like sensation with the mage hand, but you can control it and kind of just like, you're like
Scoop.
sort of dragging things, like scooping along. And so, as you're doing that, you find that the first thing that comes out is like all in a little sequence about 6 shiny silver spheres that are each about maybe 2 inches in diameter. No, maybe a little bigger than that. Maybe like 3 inches in diameter. They all kind of tumble out all at once. And is anyone trying to like catch them?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, like.
Oh, were we going to hold a basket or something underneath there?
Yeah, I mean, like, so if you want to try to catch it, how are you doing that? How are you going about that?
Sequential, hold the basket.
Just hold your mouth open.
Yeah,
She had,
hold the stomach open.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Caroline had mentioned baskets earlier,
yeah,
so
you-
as we were excavating, I think we would have.
Sure. Yeah, you can hold the basket underneath, and so you kind of catch those silver spheres that come out first, and the next thing to come out is a strange sort of like a fist-sized lump of something. Like, I think maybe your first thought is that it looks a little bit like if you had a blob of modeling clay, and then you took like various little random small machinery parts and like just mushed them into it. That's kind of what it looks like. And so it drops down into the basket, and it's maybe like softball sized. And last but not least is a book comes out, and it looks like the cover has no title on it, but just looking at the profile of it, the pages look like thick pages. Like not just thin normal paper pages.
Oh god, it's skin.
Thinking the same thing.
No, what I'll actually say is that's not what it looks like. It doesn't
Okay.
look. It's not like leathery.
It's a little
or,
golden
or
book.
fleshy.
Pancakes.
In fact, actually, I
I
think that
digress.
you all get a little bit of a vibe of it's almost like a children's book,
It's a pop-up book.
The children's book.
perhaps if you open it, but you'll see. But like so that comes out, but uh, Zinhorn, are you standing right there by the?
Yeah.
Um, so as you're kind of leaning over, looking at this stuff, you see that this little blob of clay looking thing, sort of like lurches and flips over, almost like like one of those jumping beans. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it sort of lurches and flips over, and then it leaps out of the basket and just like sticks on the end of your drill spear.
Okay, that was freaky.
Yeah, and if you're looking up at it, it seems to be going, and it's like expanding around the end of your spear.
I'm gonna drop the spear
Okay, okay.
and try not to touch this thing. I don't know what it is. Don't touch it. Everybody,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So as you kind of like drop the spear and you're backing away from it, you can see that little sort of electric arcs are sort of coming off of it, like around it as it's sort of moving around and absorbing the like enveloping the spear. And in fact, some of those little electric arcs go up into the basket, and as they seem drawn to those little silver spheres, and the silver spheres, each of them, once they get zapped by one of these little electric arcs, starts to unfold into like a metal spider.
Oh no, not these things again.
uh-oh.
They look different than similar, like other metal spider things that you have fought before. They're not quite the same.
Still traumatic flashback.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, here's the question: do you guys want to go ahead and roll initiative, or is this maybe a good point to cliffhanger and we pick it up next time? Because stuff's going down.
I'm good to keep going, but I will leave it to the group.
I'm a little tired.
I think perhaps starting a brand new combat is not the right thing at this very moment. But yes, I definitely things are starting to happen, and so we will cliffhanger in this moment, and we resume. And actually, let me before we entirely fade to black for this episode. The little spheres are certainly unfolding into little silver spidery looking contraptions, but also this blob that is enveloping the spear. Once it like smooths out and thins out enough that it's able to wrap around everything but the end of the spear, it protrudes out little like legs and like stands up like it's this tiny little bizarrely shaped clay dog where with the head of the spear where its head would be.
So the whole box was trapped.
And
It would seem.
I really want to kill that guy again.
Well, yeah, maybe. So we will find out how this all continues to play out when we return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So
many
many
levels.
Many levels.
And there was actual multiple levels in this particular
Yes.
Yeah, literal
Several.
levels.
tier. Yeah. And what I'll also tell you is that you have now reached the point where by the next time you guys are able to take a long rest, you'll get to level up. But not yet.
First, we have to fight the block of clay that has my spear
Mm-hmm.
and the metal spiders, which are probably not going to be affected by my lightning breath.
I need to get to the library.
Or maybe they'll be extra affected.
To be clear, these things are not what you fought in the side quest episode last time.
Oh, okay.
Entirely different.
But so it's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that to you twice in a row. But yeah,
Would you
they're
do that
nasty
to
in
me
an
twice in a
entirely
row?
different way. All right. So in any case, thank you everybody for listening and or watching. Remember, you can find VOD on YouTube if you missed part of it here on Twitch, or if you just like watching VODs later, or there's the audio podcast version, and it's all at ChristianaEllis.com. Does anybody else have something they would like to plug?
I just recorded a Drabblecast story today, so that should be dropping soon.
It's exciting.
I was part of the live Balticon episode of This Kaiju Life, which is a fantastic comedy podcast.
Excellent. And you got to be not a bridezilla, but what's a groomzilla?
Groomzilla.
Yeah.
And of course there was a real Daikaiju attending the wedding as well.
Yeah.
Fun. I don't recall if I mentioned it a few weeks ago, but I released my first solo album under the band name The Art of Falling. And you can find it at chooch.us or fallingmusicabq.com.
Very nice. Everyone go check that out. Yeah. Mark, Jenny, anything?
I just
I
make
mean-
stickers
Yeah.
on Etsy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
stick 'em up stickies.
Hey.
Oh, and she has an art Patreon.
Yes, I do have
Yes.
an art Patreon at the Galactic Grid. I
And
believe
I've
it's-
just passed. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was just gonna say, I think it's patreon.com/the Galactic Grid.
Nice. They are very nice stickers.
Yes.
I have a couple of them around here. And I just passed 1,000-something episodes of talking every night into a microphone and speaking about silly things or philosophical things or whatever the hell's on my mind. So you can find me wandering out loud at incaffeinated.ca.
Yay. And as another bright spot to finish on, we just, Prince Justin just resubscribed to the channel here on Twitch. So thank you.
Yay.
And thank you for being such a loyal viewer too. So we appreciate you. All right, so I will leave it there, and we will talk next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So
levels.
many
So many
levels.
levels.